my dear children. Today I want to introduce the idea of the verb tense. If you can master grammatical tenses, you will become a time wizard, a literal, actual time wizard, because tense is nothing more than the ability of verbs to situate themselves in time, specifically in 3 different times. So, in the past, present, or in the future, it can happen. When we are talking about a verb can happen now, a verb can happen later, and a verb can have happened in the past. So that's a basic rule. And dear children, if you master tenses, you will be able to tell stories and you can talk to anyone at any time about anything. And I think that ability is a kind of astonishing that language can express that sort of idea. Now, to just give you a very simple example, I'll just take the word talk. And I'm going to put in 3 different tenses. When I put it in the present tense, I'll just say I talk. In the future, I will talk. And in the past, I talked. This is the simple form of every English tense. Present tense, past tense, and the future tense. The term tense is used to indicate the form of the verb which shows the time of the action or the state and its degree of completion. Look at the following sentences. Anil plays chess every day. Anil played chess yesterday. Anil will play chess at the tournament. The verbs plays, played and will play indicate 3 aspects of time: the present, the past and the future respectively. The present tense, the past tense and the future tense are the 3 major tenses in English. Each of them has 4 forms: the simple form, the continuous form, the perfect form and the perfect continuous form. Now let's look at all the tenses using this timeline. Past tense, present tense, future tense. Just consider the straight line as a timeline. And the point where it happens is the time period. Okay? Look at the first one, past tense. I studied English. I study English. I will study English. Now, perfect tense. I had studied English. I have studied English. I will have studied English. Now look at the continuous tense. I was studying English. I am studying English. I will be studying English. Now, perfect continuous tense. I had been studying English. I have been studying English. I will have been studying English. Let's look at the use of another verb, walk. I walked, simple past tense. I walk, simple present tense. I will walk, simple future tense. I was walking, past continuous tense. I am walking, present continuous. I will be walking, future continuous. I had walked, past perfect. I have walked, present perfect. I will have walked, future perfect tense.
Most of the children are scared when they hear the term tenses. Maybe they are not clear with the rules, or maybe they are not clear with the implementation of each and every rule. So, understand what tenses are and to make it quite easier for you. So let's go. Let's start with present tense. I'm going to give you in detail what present tense is and its different forms with examples. Look at these sentences. Anil plays chess every day. Anil is playing chess now. Anil has played chess for 3 hours. Anil has been playing chess for the last 3 hours. Sentence 1 conveys the idea that playing chess is a habit with Anil. He does it every day. We call the tense used here the present simple or simple present tense. Sentence 2 tells us that the action play is taking place now. We use the term present continuous to indicate that tense. Sentence 3 speaks of the duration of the action. It has lasted for 3 hours. We call it the present perfect tense. The last sentence tells us that
3 hours has passed
since Anil began to play chess and that the action will continue for some more time. We use the term present perfect continuous to refer to that tense form. So my dear children, the present simple, present continuous, present perfect and the present perfect continuous are the 4 subdivisions of the present tense. First of all, we can learn what present simple tense is. The present simple tense or simple present tense uses the bare form or the SES form of the verb. The bare form, also called as plain infinitive, is used when the subject is plural or when the subject is I, we, you or they. Look at these examples. Cows eat grass. I walk to the office every day. We always admire the brave. You like coffee, don't you? So in these sentences, you could see that I have used plural subjects and along with that, I have used the bare form, plain infinitive form of the verbs. We have already learned subject-verb agreement, so it will be clear for you. Cows plural and that's why do form of the verb eat. I walk. Along with I, we, you and they, always we have to use plural verb forms. Now next sentence, we plural and that's why do form of the verb admire. You like coffee. The S and ES form is used when the subject is singular or when the subject is he, she or it. Look at these examples. Shyam walks to school every day. She makes kites. The dog likes meat. He usually sings Hindi songs. Here I have used the S and ES form of the verbs. Shyam is singular, so does form of the verb walk, walks. She singular, so does form of the verb make, makes. The dog singular, so does form of the verb like, that is likes. He usually sings. He is the subject, that is singular, so it should be followed by a singular verb form sings. I hope you have understood it. So here in these places, actually we have used present simple tense. Now, my dear children, we are going to learn the situations where we have to use this simple present tense. We use simple present tense to express universal or general truths. The statements of what was true in the past, what is true in the present, and what will be true in the future. Let's look into these examples. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Health is more important than wealth. The earth moves around the sun. These all are examples of universal or general truths. Now see, simple present tense is used to express actions which are repeated and are habits, habitual actions. Look at the examples. John goes to church every Sunday. My grandfather takes tea without sugar. He walks 5 kilometers every morning. These all are habits. It is the habit of John to go to church every Sunday, the action which is repeated. Grandfather takes tea without sugar. The action is repeated. Okay? It is also used to express an existing state of affairs. Examples: my parents are teachers. Rice costs rupees 40 a kilo in our state. India imports petroleum from several countries. So these are examples to express existing state of affairs. Simple present tense is also used to represent a future action. How it happens? See, schools reopen next week. The action that is going to happen in future but already fixed, and that's why we can use simple present tense here. Schools reopen next week. Don't be happy, it won't happen. Vacation classes commence on Monday next. The Prime Minister reaches Kochi tomorrow morning. So these are all examples to represent future action. Again, simple present tense is used when we quote from books, authors, notices, etc. Look at the examples. The Bible says, man does not live by bread alone. Bacon says, reading makes a full man. The pastor reads, better be late rather than be the late. Simple present tense is used in newspaper headlines to describe a past event. Look at the examples. Arjun Singh passes away. And under trial escapes from police custody. So in the first sentence, Arjun Singh passes away. That means Arjun Singh died. The action happened in the past, but we can tell it in present tense. Under trial escapes from the police custody. Actually, he escaped, but when they write it in newspaper as headlines, they use simple present tense. So if you are going to be journalist, you can use simple present tenses to represent the headlines. Simple present tense is also used in commentaries on games such as cricket and football. Look at this example. Virat Kohli hits the ball flies to the boundary, the fieldsman runs after it and stops it. He collects the ball and throws it back to the bowler. In the meanwhile, the batsmen take 2 runs. As a rule, all actions of permanent nature are expressed in this present simple tense. The present simple action is non-conclusive. That is, it cannot be stopped or started at will. This present simple tense generally takes one of the following adverbs of frequency when a habitual action or state is reported. Always, usually, generally, frequently, occasionally, rarely, seldom, as a rule, whenever, every day, every week, every month, every year, etc. For example, my father always consults an Ayurvedic physician. Whenever I ring him up, he speaks rudely. As a rule, I keep away from bad company. So here, with all these adverbs, we use simple present tense. Okay? I hope you have understood what simple present tense is.
Now, look at the following sentences. Anil is washing his car now. I am reading the newspaper. The children are playing on the road. Each of these sentences conveys the idea that some action is taking place at the time of speaking. The tense of the verb used in each of these sentences is present continuous. So, we may say that the present continuous tense is used to express an action which is taking place at the time of speaking. To get this tense, we use a be verb plus the ing form of the main verb. The ing form of a verb is called the present participle or the ing participle. So we may say that the present continuous tense is am, is, are plus the present participle, that is ing form of the verb. In these examples, you could see the present continuous form of the verbs. Is washing, am reading, are playing. The other uses of the present continuous tense are to express an action in progress but not necessarily at the time of speaking. Look at the examples. I am reading War and Peace. My son is studying in the medical college. He is preparing a project. In this first sentence, I am reading War and Peace. That doesn't mean that I am reading it now. That shows that the action is in progress. So here also we use a present continuous tense. Present continuous tense is also used to express an action in the immediate future. Look at the examples. She is getting married next week. The CM is laying the foundation stone for the auditorium next month. The Prime Minister is meeting the US President on Monday next. In these sentences, you could see that the action is going to take place in future. The rule says that these actions that have been planned for the future can be used in present continuous tense. The following adverbs of time are often used with this tense. Now, still, at present, at this moment, today, this morning, this afternoon, this evening, this month. I'll give you more examples with present continuous tense. He is sleeping now. The boys are playing cricket at this moment. It is raining still. We can use the present continuous tense to express any situation that is temporary. We have little interest in knowing when the action began or when the action will be over. We concern ourselves only with the present state of the action. It is in progress. But the action described by this tense can be stopped or started at will. In other words, the action is conclusive. That is, the action ends or can be brought to an end. Remember, children, to express a situation that is permanent, we use the present simple tense. But to express a situation that is temporary, we use the present continuous tense. Now, look at these sentences. Shraddha has washed the car. The students have done the exercise. I have lost my umbrella. Each of the above sentences indicates that some action is over and that its effect is still felt or experienced. To convey that idea, we use the present perfect tense. The form of the tense is has or have plus the past participle of the given main verb. In these examples, we have used has washed, have done, have lost. The following adverbs are often used with present perfect tense. Now, just, today, this morning, this week, this month, still, ever, never, not yet, already, recently, lately. I'll give you some more examples with present perfect tense. He has already submitted the project. The train has just left. They have never been to Kashmir. Have you ever seen a white tiger? Now examine these sentences. The plane has just landed. The train has arrived at the platform. I have lived in the UK. Sentences 1 and 2 denote activities that took place in the recent past but are connected in some way with the present. In sentence 3, the activity referred to has taken place in a more distant past, but that also is connected with the present. The time when these activities took place is not important here. What is important is the present effect of those activities. Now children, look at these examples. We have been to Kashmir twice. My brother has seen the Niagara Falls. I have met that man somewhere before. The activities mentioned here, though happened in recent or distant past, are connected with the present as long-term effects. Now examine the following sentences. I have worked here for 5 years. Hema has not had a holiday since she got a job. Sentence 1 tells us that the action or the work began 5 years ago and that it has continued up to the present or has just been completed. Sentence 2 tells us that Hema has not enjoyed a holiday after a particular stage in her life. This is another use of the present perfect tense. We use the preposition for or since to indicate the duration of the action or the time when the action began. Dear children, now we can discuss more about the prepositions for and since. We use the preposition for to get the duration or length of an action. Let's see some examples. The child has slept for 3 hours. He has lived in this house for 5 years. Now let's discuss about since. We use the preposition since to get the exact point or the stage in the past when the action began. Look at these examples. The child has not slept since it was ill. She has worked since early morning. Dear children, since the present perfect is basically a present tense, no past time adverbial should be used with this tense. It is wrong to say that I have lost my umbrella yesterday. Is it right? No. The reason is yesterday is an adverb of past time which does not go with the present perfect tense. I have lost my umbrella is the correct version of the sentence. But if we want to mention the time when the action took place, we should use the past tense. I lost my umbrella yesterday. I hope you understood the difference. Examine the following sentences. The child has slept for 2 hours. The child has been sleeping for the last 2 hours. Here, sentence 1 tells us that the child started to sleep 2 hours ago and that it has completed 2 hours of sleeping. It doesn't say for certain whether the action will continue or not. But sentence 2 indicates that the action may continue for some more time. The tense used in sentence 1, as we know, is present perfect, and in sentence 2 is the present perfect continuous. So we may say that the present perfect continuous tense is used for an action which began in the past, which is continuing now and which may continue for some more time. More examples of present perfect continuous tense. The light has been burning since 7 o'clock last night. They have been sitting here for 2 hours. Now, the form of the present perfect continuous tense is has or have plus been plus ing form of the verb. Look at the verbs used here. Has been burning, have been sitting. The time when the action began is indicated by the preposition since, and the duration of the action is shown by the preposition for. Listen children, we use verbs of prolonged action such as read, sleep, wait, build, study, live, etc. in the present perfect continuous tense rather than in the present perfect tense. Okay? Now, the adverbs used with present perfect continuous tense often have the word all before them in order to emphasize the meaning of continuous action. All morning, all this week, all day, all this year. I'll give you more examples with these adverbs. They have been waiting for you all morning. The child has been sleeping all afternoon. It has been raining all this week. So that's all about present perfect continuous tense. Dear children, through this video, I think you got an opportunity to revise tenses. I have given the introduction of tenses and in detail the present tense along with its forms. You have to wait for my next video with past tense and future tense and its forms. Till then, goodbye. Thank you so much for watching the video.